Christmases, but now I've left the fun world of retail behind, and I just get to shout at video games. So here's to being unprofessional. Secret versus Chaos. Now, these are two teams that have, I'm going to say, been impressive last week compared to how they were last season. I think that's fair.
It's definitely fair, and especially if you look at Secret, able to get these 2 wins out, almost basically doubling their points as they're right now 8 away from Chaos. Chaos, who is still in last place, and well, they have to perform now if they want to get themselves out of that relegation zone. Otherwise, it's not looking pretty for them, is it?
I think that's it as well, is when you kind of look at the changing faces, it's a lot of comparing stats, comparing teams to how they used to perform, how they've butted heads before. We have this new level of longevity that we have never had in Siege before. We've had seasons, we've had people drop at the end, but now it's split into phases with all these fun events in between. So it gives us a real taste of the full stretch of the legs of a team. Yes, they've had alterations. They've had slightly different rosters that are brought to the punch. So far, Secret's changes have been very good, but you see how, on Play Day 2 last week, the 2 new players in the hands of Chaos played, next one and Cryin. Well, if that's the start of something, I kind of want to see how far that can go. Laundry and supply. We are starting in. Yeah, I wondered what happened there, mate. What happened?
I was saying, all right. I had to sneeze.
If you were, I didn't hear it.
I had to sneeze. I'm muted. I didn't unmute myself, but I wanted to say,
yeah,
it's good to have you here right now, and we actually get Oregon just to get you ready, for what's to come these next 4 weeks.
You guys, I see you on socials complaining about Oregon. Dez putting out very this is the second time I've picked on Dez within about 5 minutes. I probably shouldn't make a habit of it, but it's easy. Saying he should maybe drop out of the map pool because they've seen it a lot. That's fair, but we haven't really seen these 2 teams on it as much. We've seen it once in the hands of Chaos, and we've only seen Cafe twice in the hands of Secret, I believe.
Well, it is going to be Oregon where it all will be divided. Look at that double ADS setup. Not seeing Nova Mai. That often comes out as well. I don't know if you've seen the 6-on-6 where Gassan was active, where Canadian was demonstrating how you remove Bolo from the shield. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. I'll promise I'll watch it later.
We'll watch it back.
We'll watch it back together. Because we see how to remove Bolo, who isn't playing in this game. So maybe those lessons won't be able to translate just as well. Quick pace here. Shate was a point of conversation by the 2 analysts a little bit earlier on in the day in how he hasn't quite been able to have the main impact before. But if there is a game where this man is going to have a huge amount of impact on 2 levels, the mental and the physical of shooting people in the face, well, it may as well be against your old team. Quick to get Cryin out of the top of T3. He's just going to try and retreat as far down as he can, but he knows these doors are being watched, so his options are potentially to try and get aggro against one or just slip all the way down. Goes for it and gets through as Vido's covering the backside. That is all of tower under them, but look at the bodies and drones that are serenading that corner of the building.
Still trying to find out whether or not there's an actual player active within the tower. Not sure if they actually saw him rotate up because there was no response really coming through. Packbull now dropping down as well. We'll confirm the tower control has been created. Or at least established. And soon they will start opening up on these hatches, for example, and pushing down the main stairs, hoping to gain some more control, some valuable control that they will use to, well, get boiler control. As we're not seeing any push coming in from the construction side, which is, well, making it ever so harder if you actually want to take that control.
Yeah, they seem to be trying to isolate and kind of cut off where Vido is playing towards Elbow. They want to make sure that if they go for a bit of movement round, they can get caught by the body above. The frag grenades are going to drop the shield on Pillar so they can apply some pressure there, but now they know where Valk is. And Diana's going to double down and see if she can find them a little bit more pressured. You can see Shate on the backside there. He's looking to apply some aggression to the back. He wants to force them into the gunfight and sight of the bodies that are above that electric hatch. And, well, the first firefight is going to fall down. They know they can't retreat. They know they'll just get caught. So they have to try and take this fight against the Ashe herself. There is a double up here. They have an angle and they swing on it from the side of Elbow, but it's Hythe that gets the opener against Vido there. And there's a second as next one follows suit.
Yeah, Reynolds wanted to actually take the fight there to Shatter, but wasn't able to do so. Scrying will be taking just a little bit of damage, but able to pick up 1 kill to start things off with. Instantly traded out, though. Hive picks up his triple kill, and as these smoke canisters come out, that must stop that plant from potentially coming through on the likes of Packbull. One still an elbow. We still have one all the way in the back there on Laundry. That is secretly on that smoke. Still has 2 canisters left, if I remember correctly. Means there's going to be about 10-20 seconds more stall potential here as the plant already comes down. Mills comes around the corner, but will be taken down. That is a missed shot.
Wow, great opener there from Secret. They've really kind of isolated a problem, as I said and pointed out. They cut off the elbow and the arm fell too. It was easy for them to then isolate those 2 players, get an entire swing of control, and do it in a method where it's not just territory they're taking. They wanted to harass and kind of harm, like global warming, and cut the icebergs off and get the penguins adrift. The first one goes in the favor of Secret, and Chaos aren't going to double down on the basement.
Now instantly swapping to go back up, to go to Kid Storms in the main hall, of course. And there's 2 things, right? Like, you either double down and you try to improve on what went wrong, or you're changing your strategy, you're continuing your normal, let's say, rotation to try and stay in that rhythm that you have been scrimming with. And Chaos indeed choosing to stay in that rhythm, choosing to continue changing these bomb sites, following their rotation, not doubling down straight away. And part of the reason might be that, well, they got pretty cleanly taken out, I have to say. It was not really a close round right there.
Well, I think that's
Secret
it as
completely
well.
in control.
It was so well put together. It was threaded. They knew where they wanted to apply the pressure to, and they almost said it as a statement at first. They went, this is the angle that we've got, this is the angle we're going to hold. You cannot take this anymore. You have to just try and take the firefight. And it allowed Chate to play a little bit more of an aggro game because it forced more attention towards him, which allowed Hive to then drop in and get the double. It was very, very well played and well structured from Secret. Can they replicate and duplicate on the second and tertiary site if we do find ourselves rotating that way around? Either way, let's see how it begins to collapse together. I think one of the things worth noting as well is everything was step by step from the hands of Secret. All 5 of them went to get Tower in the hatch, and then from that point onwards, they went on to the plan.
Ooh, that's a long angle being held there. Bit of damage being done onto Draven. Secretly using that shield, actually. But soon, of course, someone will come up on that rappel, or at least threaten to go up on that rappel, and then the position will become unplayable. I'll have to play it a bit more exposed, as well, he tried to go for a little trick, but failed to do so.
Wow, slow and steady is the game that Grind's playing, very deep underneath it in Freezer. This was one of the things that I was slightly going to comment on, but then it seemed to pull apart. Was in the last round when they were gathering around meeting, we saw a flirt of the idea of a rotation up Freezer, and then the body actually backed away, as did a lot of Secretly's blood there, who moves away from walking wall to make sure they don't suffer the end of that being pulled apart and out of their bones. It is going to give a little bit more ground to Secret, but they might not know just how much they have, as the bullets are still being peppered across, and a mist-thrown flash is going to stumble before it even gets into the room. There goes the long arm over the long shield and the long angle, and, well, here goes the attempt at the entry as they start to break open that shield and put pressure on the armory side.
I was going to say, it looked like a bit of a glitch, but it's going to be the Gemini replicator moving in, trying to get some information. Chate will now know at least one of the positions. Make that 2 as he saw the Goyo running inside of Atit. His last 60 seconds left. They need to get themselves a pick. Look at Secret, he is quite low, and that means he should be one of the upcoming targets, especially considering he's the smoke. He has the opportunity to deny, and as you just heard, he popped his first smoke canister as well. Grenades are being cooked right now. The second smoke canister, actually the third one, is in hand. Will not be tossed out yet. Will be saved up until this moment.
It's very, very well played by Secretly so far. To survive for as long as they have in such a vital situation. They pulled away so they can still utilize the canisters, but it has bought them such an exceptional amount of time. Though that time might start to run out. A double for Prano on the far side, and Hive gets 1 to boot. Now it is suddenly a very tricky situation that's slightly coming back into their favor. Now it's a 2-1, all down to Cryin. Play an exceptional game last time, an exceptional season on one of his CLs. unfortunately can't quite light this one up the same way he did then. Secret find their second, and Packbull on his third debut.
His third debut indeed. Will be able to pick up that final kill as Cryan. Well, he did not have enough bullets left to go for the pre-fire completely. And because of that, he was taken out. Almost managed to bring it back as he got it into a 1v1. Knew exactly where Packbull was coming from, but didn't expect him to be that far forward already. And that brings us to the third bomb side. Again, this one was relatively easily picked apart here by Secret. Even though that the operator count was a bit closer. But we are going to meet in Kitchen as the next bomb site to go to. Maybe they got something here that they will manage to repel Secret off. Or otherwise we're finding ourselves with a very quick 3-0 situation where Chaos in a very important matchup because they played Secret last stage as well, and Secret was basically that buddy in relegation danger zone. However, they have ascended and they are currently, I believe, on 6th place. So Secret is making the best of it at times. Was Chaos a bit stuck on the 6-6?
If I was to take a lesson or maybe try and put one together from the first 2 rounds we've seen, or even just attribute the success of Secret to something, it seems very well rehearsed. They seem fully aware of how Chaos wants to play this and the positions they want to be in. We saw it in the first site very blatantly, as we've already talked about. The second site there as well, obviously they knew they needed to try and apply the pressure to the smoke, but it was the swing onto the opposite side. Almost when the pieces start to fall together, they knew the moment they had to push. Maybe it is me just trying to write a story there, or maybe it is just kind of the happenstance and the timing and everything coming together. Either way, Secret seem a little bit sharper off the bat now, and whether it's because, well, they saw a team play this before, well, kind of want Chaos to wake up, and they might have done that. Hive taking a shoulder of damage from potentially a window swing, and, well, that could be these moments. We kind of got a taste of that with Cryan on the previous round. We started to see him lean into the role of moving and manipulating the play space to the level we know he's capable of. Just want to see a little bit more now.
I have to agree with the fact that Secret seems to be a bit more awake than Chaos is at this moment in time. Also, might be, as you say, it's really well rehearsed, but could that be due to the fact that there's too little of a, well, they're not trying to disrupt Secret enough, right? Right now as well, they took care of the bandit wires, renewals will be taken out, and that means Attic will be opened up soon just to get that control of the hatch, which will be very important. Now, are you going to be retaking that, or are you going to stay put on your current positions? That is what is going to be maybe even round deciding here.
Wow, as the wall starts to fall, secretly he's going to try and dig himself into a similar situation he was in before, utilizing those canisters rather than the guns to buy some precious time, force Secret into a more uncomfortable situation, and try and rely on the guns and the movement of the other players around them to contribute. There it is, Cryan takes the first and starts to put a bit of balance back into the favor of Chaos here, a player who I said in the first round didn't quite do much, in the second started to do some. I want him to start doing the all we know he is capable of. Secret, they're lining up on the far side to try and start to make the push across the big meeting open space. They put down one in the middle of the room, but they might not know how close the smoke is. Swings and gets the first canister, buys themselves a precious 15 seconds for more Chaos bodies to start to try and apply some pressure onto the kitchen side. Next one is creeping on Split, waiting for a swing onto this angle to try and take care of the head of anybody that gets a little bit too overzealous, and Shatte seems to be the first trying the game. However, it's becoming a little bit of a slow here, and it's going to be the sacrifice of Hive that gets one and almost followed up by a second. As next one is able to dig in, and the canister buys another precious 15 seconds. Cryan is still in a position where he can rotate up the kitchen corridor if he wants to, and he might have to do it sooner rather than later as Shatte finds one more. The final canister goes off, as does Packbull, who gets one, but now it's a 2 versus 1, and secretly is able to try and get it, but Prana locks off the round.
Indeed, the hatch, which was what I was talking about, is going to be round deciding in the end. You're going to be able to, well, basically cut down the rotation. You're going to be able to shut down anybody walking freely through the meeting. And you see it here. 3-0 is the current score. Secret are absolutely on point. This one got a little bit closer, a little bit close for comfort maybe on the likes of Secret, but they managed to pick it up nonetheless. Because a lot of time was being wasted by the actual smoke, like the extended use or the late use of the smoke canister with high intervals between them instead of, because what we normally see is like smoke, it's out, smoke, it's out, smoke. But it had like 20 seconds after it ran out before the next one was being tossed in, and Like that, you managed to stall it out to about a minute 15 seconds of denial. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for Chaos. And they need to find a different way now. They're going back downstairs to continue that rhythm. That hasn't been going too well for them.
Well, what lessons can they learn? If I'm going to talk about, it seems like Secret are being well studied and well rehearsed. This is when the game of Siege comes into its second half. And this is one of those things that makes it that great game, is how does a team actively develop inside a fight that might not be really go in their favor. We've seen this site once and they opted to rotate off. They didn't want to double down and try and stress it all the way. Renewals, looking for something potentially hyper-aggressive here, is going to swing on, double check for drones and pull back. Make sure he doesn't get caught out there.
The Doubt wants to fall back and stay alive because he cannot afford to run out yet another time, potentially losing your body that early on. And his Crying will be spotted out. It's going to fail to take down that drone. This will have to fall back, considering there is information on him. Soon he will be pushed. And Secret is very keen on taking the control of the tower, and after it's straight into meeting. And I said it before, I'm kind of worried why Secret wasn't taking elbow control or construction control from the start, but it worked out the last time around and pretty well for them as well. So I'm just trusting in them now that they know exactly what they're doing, as they are very time efficient.
Yeah, covering exactly the same angles they did before and making sure they have the same bits of controls they had before. As I said before, one of the things I cited and saw was the potential of a rotation up freezer that never really came to fruition. This time it seems like, well, they're going to stick for it for now without a body too close. They seem actively aware that all of the push and pressure is going to come from the same hatch and drop down and staircase, as Vido actually rotates towards Harry Potter to want to take the firefight on this side instead of get caught out by the drop on the hatch as they did last time. Leaves Renewals in a little bit of an isolated situation, and it prays to the hope that the drones don't see them.
The one thing I'm worried about here for Secret is that, yet again, they will be attacking all from the northern side of the map. No one is going in from Freezer, no one is going in from Laundry. That means there is no pinch potential, almost. Because if you just have one person moving around to Laundry, suddenly you can cut off, like the hallway, for example, if you manage to sneak in far enough. Same goes for Freezer. But they will decide that this is their strategy, this is how they do it. They managed to do it before, and their gun skill is better. We'll have to see that in these last 60 seconds, as basically not a single point of damage has been done except for a little bit to Crying, but you can basically nullify that. With 50 seconds, drops will be coming in soon. They will have to go for the execute.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think one of those vital moments is the rotation of Vido to find himself in a slightly different position. It allows Crying to pull back, and they rotate away from the pillar drop. There's next one getting one, and there's an instant trade back from Hype, who looks thirsty for the second, but they're not going to hand it that easily. Oh, they do, down the corridor. Crying is taken out of the equation. And now comes Pack on the shoulder to try and start to apply the pressure of the diffuser. They wait with bated breath and held, but it's not enough as next one drops them before the smoke even clears. With Renewals still holding it on to the side of Elbow, they still have that very important and vital control, and it allows them not to be able to swing in as confidently as they need to. This has to be a gun fake. Chate needs to put pressure on, but is actually just going to hold and wait. There it goes, and there he goes. Drop from the side, and there's two more for Chaos. Everything is lining up in their favor. And with the diffuser still in hand, that's the first round of theirs.
Here we have it exactly. The round being won by Secret. And it is due to the fact that Chaos, well, they attacked all from one side again, but this time the members of Chaos were nowhere to be found. Were just trying to stay put. Even though they lost two members, they were not giving out too much ground, still had the denial of the smoke available to them, meaning that the default plant was nowhere to be found. And here you see that you can hurt from a lack of, well, moving up one person through the freezer or the laundry, because it basically gives you such valuable information and these angles, of course, as well, that can really help you in your execute. But Chaos able to pick up the first round. Let's see if they can double that down, make it 2, or maybe even push the 3. As, of course, we are still, well, settling on whether or not New Oregon is defensive-sided or attacking-sided, but you're always going to be saying defense-sided in a game like Siege. Even though it seems to be, well, swapping a lot around across the regions as well.
Well, I was going to say, it's fair to say, over the first week of play, we're getting quite a good set of test data. We're getting
yeah, that's why they're playing it that much.
We're getting a fair, just for the test. These guys,
just to settle.
They're in it for the science. Maybe we shouldn't start talking. I know there was a brief conversation of a math equation that completely took over Siege Twitter not too long ago. And me, as an idiot, just tried to stay out of it because, well, I was always going to be wrong whatever I said. Holding above here, not going to play down onto dorms as the secondary because, well, whether they win or lose on this next site, they could potentially have that on that third anyway, so may as well try something that can swing something more into their favor. The hold here, obviously, instead of the meeting as well, they're trying everything. They're pushing themselves as deep. I know it was something said by Jess and Des before, was, you know, what's really the third site that a lot of teams are going in towards? Well, in the case of Chaos, they're going to try all four.
To try all four of them indeed, and well, that might be what they need to do. Obviously, do not feel very comfortable or confident in their current setup on the top floor, and thus they will decide to go for kitchen dining. This next one here wants to go even more aggressive. A big punch from the window coming in will be forcing him to go for the reload. I'm not sure if that's the Yana Gemini trying to go for a bit of a shoulder peek right there, but it's going to be Shattered that gets taken out by Renewals to start things off, and Crying that follows up as well by taking down Draven, and suddenly Chaos are finding themselves in a two-man lead early on in the round.
Chaos swinging with aggression, but Pac's going to try and strike back. Gets one against the next one, and takes care of a gun that otherwise hasn't been able to fire on its full capabilities just yet, but as I said before, from Chaos, we're seeing them start to get into this game, and we know how much further these players can go. There's a lot of time still to play for here for both teams, and you can see Chaos are chomping at the bit of trying to bite the opponents, and it's Secret back on the drone game. They know generally that Kitchen is a lot of open space, but that in no way means it's a safe place for them to start to visit. And they've got to try and start to shepherd just a little bit of a bubble for them to get the diffuser down. They have some angles, they have some ideas, and they have some ideals, but making them click now when you're a man down, well, when you've been playing the trade game so well in the controller space, how does that work when you have this much time, but unfortunately less bodies to work with?
Naturally, indeed, this is a different situation here for Secret, as they are now 2 men down, or 1 man down, as they manage to get the trade down on next one. Leaves you with less utility, less firepower, and that will basically force you to make decisions, as you're no longer going to be able to basically cut off all the corners and all the angles that you want. And as I say that, this veto that cuts to the head there of Factful with a bullet or two. As more trades come out, it's only up to Prano now. In a 1-on-3 situation with 20 seconds left, surely he might be able to find 1 kill, but that leaves it into a 1v2 situation. Also knows 1 was going to be around the security area. 1 was on the back as well of the dining room. As the riddance comes through for the Banshee, the plant now must come through as well, because there's only 5 seconds left. There's no way he can get away with getting the 2 kills here, but he will be able to get 1 kill. Now goes for that plant, and that means Renewals will have to go for the push. The Bailiff is out. The question is, does he know where the plant is? Yes, he does. He gets it, and that is the round for Chaos as well.
3-2 Chaos. And yeah, it's still coming down to the wire. The amount of rounds that have gone down to 1 versus 1s has been most of them. At the same time, look at the control in the earlier moments of the round. This one in particular, because we saw Chaos stepping in and stepping aggressively to Secret very early on. And Secret, so far, the rounds that they've taken have been very, very well balanced, and that word I used earlier, rehearsed. It's been such a good put-together play of how they've been able to just fabricate all the pushes, all the movements, and all the bits of momentum. And here, when they're having things taken out of the, you know, carriage earlier on, well, it becomes harder to balance those trades, those moments, and those bits of blood.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Well, as 3-2 is the score right now. I'm seeing Chaos going back upstairs. Pretty similar operator lineup we have seen before. And Rehost will be coming in right now, as it's been called, sound bug. Be fixed shortly. And we are going, well, into a short intermission then. A short moment for both Chaos and Secret to 7 more matches left, including this one. So they really need to start getting those points right now, because, well, their opponents will not stop either. Empire will be playing later as well, you know. It's not like it's not like they're holding back. But let's get back into game as we will go onto the kids and dorms. Bomb site again, same operator, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to be secret against chaos.
As the rules decree and decry.
As the rules say.
Same
indeed.
ops as before the rehost, obviously. As anyone that's been watching, it's Siege. But 3-2, just before the turn of the half. As we said, Momentum's had a little bit of a break. And, well, for me, unless there's been a heck of a team talk in the Chaos dressing room, it's kind of not a great moment for them. They were really starting to cook, really starting to find some steam. And really, if they kept that moving, could have ended up on that 3-3 split and that 3-3 turn of the half. But at the same time, hey, who knows what the discussion was, how they put their heads together and how they're going to find themselves here. It might be something that has the opposite effect. They go, we've just taken 2, we've taken them well, we're heating up. Let's smash Secret. Let's get this energy before, as you said, we go to our very vital attack rounds, which, well, you gotta have energy then.
And it will be important now indeed to show that energy, to build up your confidence in this round and go out with a good mood. Because if you will be completely shut down onto this defense and Secret completely outruns you, let's say a flawless round, I don't think that will be really helpful for Chaos currently right now, as we just said how important it is that they go into comfort and with some confidence into the next round. Anyway, crying on the roam, let's see if he maybe picks up 1 or 2 players.
I think one of the things that it's also worth citing as well is in the last round, that was the first time that Chaos got the opening frag. They got the opening 2 as well. And then from then on, in a game that is otherwise almost entirely ended in 1 versus 1s, just having that vital shift in bodies in your favor, well, that's obviously something where I look towards players like Cryan, as I said before. I look towards these, you know, high caliber roam players that can just pull people apart.
Flash is being tossed in, of course, to aid for any grenades potentially to come through. I like this opening here from Hive, but it's quite risky considering he might be getting his head taken off as soon as he stands up, because Renewals is around the corner with the Yalda. Actually fell back. Vito right now playing close, taking out the Gemini, and that means that Hive will be holding off on that angle. Trying to get some extra information out. Drone will be used for a bit of bait. It's going to be giving away his position. C4 will be tossed in, but he's using it as a flame flashbang. Beautifully played, but not able to pick up the kill to Draven. As, of course, as soon as that C4 comes in, everybody will turn around and try and run away to not die. Instead, he ran right after it to try and get the kill, but he failed to do so, and that means the opening frag goes to Secret.
See, I was also curious there, because that was the second the frag grenade came through that actually dropped him. So whether it was a moment where he didn't want to push forward, but the grenade fell behind him and he wasn't quite sure where he had to go. But either way, you know, rock in a hard place, one explosive or the other. Unfortunately, well, it led to his end. Secretly, at least dropped 1, takes it back. But either way, we're finding ourselves on more of a level pegging. Renewals takes a grenade and it doesn't really stem the man as he's waiting for this destruction to happen just underneath the Maestro camp. There it goes. And well, there goes the impact to stop the second Selma being able to do any more damage. He's in a bit of a tough spot, but there's no pressure coming from Attic just yet. He's going to start to apply onto Shatse, though, take his head clean off. Moving faster than a 1-speed ever has before jiggling onto the angle. The ADS is saving his life right now as he slowly creeps to a slightly different position and angle. Might not see the push coming in, gets 1 before they're able to strike, and now it's suddenly a 3 versus 1 pack bull. A man who was able to do so much, unfortunately, can't do very that time round.
Really well played there by Renewals. You can almost say that he stalled out so much time, able to pick up some important frags as well on that Maestro. I just wanted to say I really like the Salmas being tossed up there, considering the fact that it took out the Maestro camp, which was being active, to make sure no one was coming from the tower side of Attic. As soon as it was taken out, you saw me instantly worrying, maybe someone will be coming through Attic to try and push me. Wasn't the case, of course, as Secret likes to attack as a big group and not really split themselves up that much. They managed to pick up the kills nonetheless. And that means that we have ourselves an even split. Instantly, the clash will come out here from Packbull, as we are going to Laundry Supply, and I can only guess that we'll be playing an elbow to try and stop any push from construction to come in.
6th pick as well. They're keeping it hidden for now, but obviously it's one of those plays where you look at how they've been able to manipulate the play space of the Cafe before you can find some comparisons between this site and the kitchen on Cafe. I think it's fair, but very slight comparisons. You look at the kind of crook of Elbow, you look at how a lot of this pressure becomes kind of symbolic of the side of how some teams like to divulge all their pressure towards the side of Bakery and how they like to swing around onto the main corridor too. And you know, I guess for me, okay, maybe I'm just trying to thread some intel together because we've only really seen Secret play Cafe so far, but at the same time, I think if you squint, some of it looks similar.
5 seconds to go.
If I take off my glasses, I can see the comparison indeed.
If you take off your glasses. This is like a very rose-tinted comparison.
I must be thinking about that meme now where the guy takes off his glasses and then suddenly sees something completely different.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3-on-3, and Secret is onto that defense now. And instead of the clash in Elbow, it is going to be at the Freezer stairs, it seems like. Just giving away some information. You can, of course, spot the feet running by as they rotate themselves throughout that map. The biggest enemy of that clash is, of course, that Sophia on the current lineup.
Yep.
And so it be that next one is actually the one that's close as well.
Well, if I'm going to talk about Rehearse and they seem like they know what they're doing, this is a perfect example. They've stacked a lot on Freezer, and Chaos has intently swarmed around for the Freezer side bit of control first. They want to try and isolate this clash and Doc as quickly as they can, but Packball can get a bit aggro as he wants to lean up and get aggressive because, well, if the shield stumbles, it's only really the feet that get revealed and he can pull back to a bit of safety. And the Doc can apply some safety too. They don't need to throw their life away here, but they can burn a huge amount of utility and even more time because Maverick is still trying to make work of that hatch. In the meantime, Packball has a sense of safety and serenity to rotate and reveal himself all the way back to site. And with a minute 30 gone, well, that's a lot of time on the board.
Seems like they have decided to not actually go for that hatch, and as I said, of course, Renils gets right on it, but it might be a bit too late because 90 seconds are gone, and only now he starts opening up. You could have actually caught them off guard if you created a little bit of an opening, just enough to hold that rotation, because right now, Hyperpack both fell back. And look at that shield setup. It's like a portable mirror window. It's just standing by, and Doc will be standing right next to it, using it to gain the valuable information to then use to peek onto the Freezer hallway. And as I said, secretly will be able to pick up the first kill onto Shatter, who will fall, and no more Jaeger will be there.
Packball playing a drift game here to get the intel from Laundry as well, and so far has been able to stay standing. Another drone falls victim to this pairing that is otherwise just trying to keep themselves alive and isolated for as long as possible. But with bodies coming from 3 different sides now, including what looks like maybe a little bit of pressure from the opposite, well, it's going to start to kind of come to a bit of a head. Hype swings wide, takes care of next one. They can withstand if they need to, but otherwise, well, they're going to have to because they can't get quite close enough. There is an important take, though, as they drop the body over the shoulder.
Oh, no.
Clash got a little bit too wide, a little bit too aggro, and now there's a lot less land between them and the enemies as they just have to try and flee in the final 10 seconds. Rhino's holding a close angle here, has no more canisters by the looks of it, but has the ability to take care of the body that gets a little bit too close. The plant is going down. If they can swing and get this planter, unfortunately it's a bit too well covered, and we find ourselves in a post-plant, 2 versus 3.
Indeed, as Pack will actually manage to bully one to death to try and push him into the drone hole now, but Packball not able to go for the 360 there. It looks like is going to be able to get that kill. Waits for the bait to come in as Draven comes to support. He will be able to pick up that kill and find themselves in a 2-on-2 situation. But the hatch is there, and that is the important matter in this current retake here. They need to use that hatch well, and it might be going for a reverse defuse here with the clash. Indeed, that's what they tried to do, but the head will be spotted out, and Klein will go for the double kill as Draven picked up secretly. It was a one-on-one situation, but Chaos able to win that one out as the reverse defuse did not really work according to plan.
No, the angle just a little bit off. I think they swung a bit too bold and maybe they needed to reverse their way in for safety. But either way, well played there from Chaos. They read the danger, and I said a minute 30 had been wasted and burnt by the defense. They were able to push them all the way back to the site, and sure, they didn't catch Clash on the rotation background, but they read how much focus was put on this side, and they kind of realized, well, if they're doing this, and this is the Laundry this is the Freezer hold, maybe Laundry will be something where we can get a little bit more aggressive and get the pinch, make that Clash and that Doc uncomfortable, get them either side, and then go from there. was very, very well put together there, and unfortunately Secret just weren't able to find themselves back into the round. Sixthing back onto Clash, round 2, take 2. Can they have a little bit more of a success story in the sequel?
Undoubtedly, they will have the opportunity to gain themselves a bit more success in this round. As they got close, they had the right idea. They tried to stall out as long as they possibly could, but they missed any laundry presence, really, and that is how eventually that plant came down, due to the fact that there was no information there, no one was trying to hold off on it, because they were so focused on just the freezer side of things. Of course, there were 3 operators in that area, but there's still 2 more you have to account for. And if those are coming in from laundry and are getting that plant down while they're mowing down your teammates, they will deserve some attention as well. Now, Secret is aware of that fact, are aware of the fact that indeed they need to give that attention. But Chaos is in front. They're 1 round in front, and that means they are in the driver's seat of this matchup so far. And even though Secret looked really strong in those first 3 rounds, starting to let it slip a little bit now.
Heading on the way through, and the pings are already there and ever present towards the side where the Clash is playing. She's a little bit more aggressive than she was last time round, and she's just holding the top of the stairs to see if they can give a little bit less land. There's a frag grenade from deep that, well, is at least going to scare the Clash. She's going to pull a little bit further back behind the barbed wire, but at the same time, another frag grenade goes missing and out of the pockets of the attackers. They can't quite get it. A wide swing that went for a bit of advantage, but didn't quite get the follow-up on the drone that was otherwise dropped just before. It's just another story of this Clash holding down and holding firm.
As you heard, the Excars have been placed on that hatch, and that might prove a little bit of difficulty here for Packbull, as the return back to site might be a mission impossible now. Hype as well, he's stuck here together with Packbull, and they will be here for a 2-man suicide mission, you can almost say, because surely grenades could be coming in from this hatch. Well, it's hard to get that angle off, so you'll only be able to catch them if they're really close to the hatch, but what they're trying to do right now is just waste as much time as they possibly can. There goes Hype for a bit of a pre-fire, but we'll be hitting that shield. As it goes for the rotate, you see the IQ instantly rotating around as Vitodas seems to be aware of the fact that a rotate came through, but Packbull already into safety now. 1 minute 20 left, or 1 minute 15 rather. And that means that, well, Secret still with 5 alive, still with that freezer in control, should be able to indeed create themselves a success story here.
Well, we're seeing a bit of a rotation now from Chaos as they look towards the tower as a possibility of pulling things apart. Reynolds is trying to do some work on the back, but in the meantime, Vido's got business, and that business is with Clash, who is now just over 25. Oh no, wait, the doctor's in. She's almost back to full. Vido is swinging and trying to buy as much attention as the pressure seems to come from the backside now. Reynolds needs to start moving sooner rather than later. With 1 body on Pillar, though, it's actually going to be Secretly who opts to try and push in onto Laundry with the diffuser going on our right shoulder right now. There's a C4 that misses, and Secretly, well, they're down and not out. Unfortunately, it's Vido that picks up the first drop as Brano gets 1 with the trade coming against Hype. You can see Clash trying and itch to get a bit aggressive here as the bodies swarm in, but without the diffuser going down, they're just looking for aggro and looking for blood. 20 seconds on the board. Next one and Cry and go and recollect the diffuser with Clash bullying them and keeping them separated. Isolated isn't all that it needs to be for Next One as he gets 1 and swings onto the favor with Cry and going for the diffuser. Clash just has to cover the rotation of the man behind for them to take this round. They get aggro on the first. It's a 2 versus 1, but Clash is one of them, which is a wall you've got to get through first. He can take this with the first frag falling in his favor. A 1 versus 1 against the Clash. Ring around the rosies, but look at the health on the pair of them. Clash might not know just how low Cryin is, but he's well aware as he keeps themselves at more than an arm length and stretch. The most dangerous and electric game of Ring Around the Rosies has ever been played. Gonna wait for the 2 ticks, and the 3 needs to time this perfectly, but it's timed better by Packbull! No!
Oh my god, he heard it perfectly. I'm not sure if they had information out, but look at that. Just that quick 180, get that kill in and back onto the defuse so smoothly. That was a beautiful play. Oh my god. Packbull absolutely doing God's work on that Clash.
Hell of a play. Hell of a player on his 3rd debut.
On his 3rd debut.
4-4. We find ourselves still keeping pace. And Secret still kind of keeping up appearances of having these jaw-dropping clutch moments. It was so close. And to be fair to Cryan, he played it exceptionally well. The rotation there to be able to get the first pick and then keeping the distance from Clash because, well, at that point, what other choice did he have? If he tried to charge her, it was suicide. Unfortunately, hard to stop a man like Packbull on that Clash.
Oh man, there was little that Cryan could do there, because indeed if you don't go for it, you might be messing up the shots, as the defuse will have that shield on the back, of course. And if you go for it with 1 minute and 1.8 seconds, I mean, you just see that last second 180 coming through. The 5-second margin there for Packbull to get that defuse going. Cryan waited as long as he possibly could have waited. It's just that he wasn't quick enough on the trigger, considering his gun was still down from the sprint. There's nothing he could have done there. Well played by Packbull.
So the second time round on the site, they're able to take it. Now they've got to try the first strike on a different one if they want to find themselves one step ahead. A late Valk cam might give a bit of pressure and game away to a Chate. Is just going to head out of there sooner rather than later. Next one would have seen that fly by, and you assume it got picked off quickly, but in the meantime, the pressure on Tower is completely overwhelmed as they start to spread their brand of chaos all over the hallowed halls of this side of the map. Now they can get a bit of control across and start to try and apply some towards the dorms itself. With the weight of the rotation below, they're looking for that Valkyrie, but, well, she's gone.
She has long flown off. My question is, however, is the cam still out in the little towery structure? Not quite sure where it exactly got tossed out. Hope we get to see it later in action, but look at this support right here. Shatter is being droned out, but there's a vertical right above it, and it might not be aware of that. As soon as Shatter will be droned, he will be rotating, of course, to set himself up in a different corner, so a wallbang will not be possible. But right now, Prano comes in as well. It's a 3-man support on just Shatter here, as they're trying to hunt him down so desperately.
Angles being held now as they wait for the game of who's going to drift into the sightline of who first. As we saw before on Chaos's defenses, when they started to pull stuff together, they were able to pull that very important opening body away from the hands of Secret. And last time round, well, things didn't quite go towards the story as they wanted to tell. A bit of a wide roam here from Secret as they're looking to just keep themselves as active around the map as possible. The consistent pings and pops of anything close to a body is what's going to be littering their screen and eyes, as Chaos seem to have only eyes towards the site itself. Is that a person? Is that a shadow? Well, too late to tell. That's definitely a person. Caught right in the middle as they're dropped on the wide swing there. Packbull takes a huge amount of damage too as Agoyo buys a few precious seconds in the middle of a room that is otherwise becoming increasingly pressured.
That is something that really shouldn't have happened there. Just lost out in the open, not behind cover, not even challenging it, just shot in the back. And look at next one now as he creeped himself up onto these white stairs. He will be here to try and deny Packbull, who's playing behind that B bomb shot. He actually rotated a bit deeper. Shate able to pick up a kill, and Draven follows up as well. Suddenly the man advantage is back into the likes of Secret, but as I say that, and that's charged from below, I believe it was, or a grenade. Will be taking short work of Draven. Second one coming in will be dislocating the player from Attic. And it's going to be creating some space here for Renault to able to pick up one, but instantly traded out yet again. But then Cryan comes around the corner and turns it into a one-on-one situation effectively, because both sides have one down. Secretly needs to go for the kill, but decides to go for the defuse instead. Are they aware of his position? They should be, because Draven is right around the corner. The pre-fire comes in, and Secret win yet another round. The living drone, by the way.
I know. I mean, having a round end in this game with a 1 versus 1, theoretically, because there's still 2 other players alive on both team downs, I think is a great way of surmising this entire game so far. Both teams have been so close to the wire. So many of these rounds could have drifted one way or the other just based on one gunfight in this entire tied thread of story just being pulled slightly in a different angle. And, you know, neither team is really willing to give an inch or an edge, because I think based on the performances before, based on the expectations since, of how it went for phase 1 of these two teams. Phase 2 is where they need to make their mark, step it up, and who better to do it against than the other team that suffered in the opener half of this season.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
A secret now, 1 round in front, Fluke. They are 1 round away of reaching that infamous 6. A number that often comes up in these Chaos games, more often than they would like to admit themselves. And, I mean, we might be going back towards a draw situation here because it has been pretty, well, not really back and forth, but we had a 3-0, then the trio came through, Chaos managing to pick up 1, now Secret 2. If Secret manage to continue now, then they should be able to clean out the game, but if Chaos is able to strike back, we might be heading to yet another draw.
5 seconds left.
You hate to say it. Especially if you're Chaos' social media manager, who fully lost their mind last week.
Turn the logo into a 6.
Turn the logo into a 6. Put 6s in the name. Hard day for the Chaos social team.
They're getting PTSD, but just us talking about this now. So
shout out to the Chaos social team. Didn't they unfollow you because?
No, they blocked me because I didn't predict the draw. I predicted him to lose. I said it's better than the 6-6, isn't it? But they tend to disagree with me.
Yeah. So. The pressure's coming from above as they look to try and dig out the 2 bodies in the showers, and then the one that's on the side. Hive lost the shield, but is going to try and hold there just a little bit longer as the drone of renewals pops a bit more of the game away and forces the Valkyrie to a slightly more uncomfortable situation here. Puts their own secondary camera down and waits for a body to drift close to the drone hole. No like so far, as well, it seems like they're going for a very wide push here, and they're going to try and get control of the main door first of all.
I have to agree with you. As showers slowly getting opened up, actually on the reinforced wall rather than the soft wall. Just to create an extra angle, see these Selmas being tossed out from quite a long range. Going to be opening up onto the dining room as well, creating this long angle for Secretly to play from the top of the staircase. Of course, you have to take care of Prano first, but he still has a shield and some ADSs left, so he will not be put under pressure too quickly as Vita picks up the first one onto Hive to start things off. Chaos again with an opening frag. The question is, however, are they going to be able to translate this one into a round?
Well, the drone drifts on by and they can't quite catch it, but you don't want to leave the protection you have because look how many guns are angled towards this shower. It's down to this Maestro to try and hold the line for now. Looks and swings onto one, but gets the second that he finds instead. Crying goes down and he tries to pick the pieces apart on the first body he saw before. There is a very close attempt and approach here from Next One, but they're all out of utility, so they're just going to have to try and do it with guns. They get it a second too late, though, as Renewals goes down over the shoulder. They have the shower control, and they have 50 seconds on the board, and they're waiting for another man to drift a bit closer, but waiting too long as Shate gets Vido on the other side. Now it is just down to the 2 bodies in the showers as they're trying to hit the rotate. They have some drones, and the Malusi's going to give the Wub-Wubs away of danger. Cam gets picked off too. They have themselves inside a sight, but it is no confident hold now, as they know there's a gun on one side, and they might not know about the 2 that's approaching from the other. They definitely do now. Shade gets 1, follows it up with the second, and now Secret sit on map point.
They are a map point. They are a match point. They are about to be storming into that top 4. As if they get this one, they'll be elevating themselves up to 17 points. Now, for reference, that is 2 points behind Rogue. That is 2 points behind G2. And that is 1 point above Virtus Pro. They're looking to put themselves into that top 4 spot. But keep in mind, for the major, they're also doing some major business. But not intended. As they will be putting themselves up to 9 points. And, well, the only other team that currently does not have a loss yet is BDS.
6-4. Secret, you're looking in a good stead, in a good position right now, and things are coming together well. But for the 3rd time, we're going to see you heading down to Laundry, and is it going to be yours for the 2nd time? For the 1st time, we're seeing them not bring the clash. Sick picking off towards the mirror for potentially a more centralized hold. The give the game away might have been the fact that Packbull wasn't the one that had it selected before, and Hive was the one that was kind of saying, hey, it's me, especially when, well, Pack's back and he's doing things that he did before. Curious to see where the extensions come through here. Obviously, we haven't really seen any sense or any major heft of a blue push from the guns of Chaos so far, and maybe with the different setup and maybe how close things are to the punch, they might adapt themselves to what has generally become a more familiar hold. That could be the adaptation reasoning towards the mirror.
Considering the fact that they were playing the Clash in Freezer consistently, and the entire time they must have known about the attack or the preference of attack for Chaos there, because they perfectly knew where they were coming from and they knew to stall them down there. I'm just kind of wondering where the mirror will come down. It looks like one will be on blue. I hope they will put one towards Landry actually when they brought it, considering it has been a big more problem for them, considering that that is where the plant came through time and time again, or at least the attempt for it.
Now, Chaos, you've been able to pull stuff back in your favor as rounds started to flitter through your fingers before. You lost the first 3 and then took the next 4 pretty steadily. You've lost 3. Is this a repeat or a three-peat? I guess we'll have to see as they start to try and collapse down on the hatch. This is, as I a little bit predicted, more of a standard blue push and take here, but it seems like Secret are well aware and well prepared for the eventuality. They have the Warris and Malusi on the close corners there, and they know it's in a situation where they're going to have to get a little bit close to the punch or burn some of the utility that gets burned. We heard the first 2 get popped by that ADS, followed it up, and now it's gone. But it's a good blend and burn of utility on an otherwise tricky situation, and now they've actually got to try and dig the man out of pillars. And he does bits like that.
Just gets shot back. He's like, you put the shovel in and just a landmine blows off as Shat able to pick up the kill. I was going to say, good. I actually wanted to highlight quickly. Oh my god, that's unfortunate there. Just an unlucky flash to come through. But the last mirror window has been placed towards the back stairs now, considering the fact that the hatch was opened up first, indicating that the push would be coming from there. So they used that last mirror window a bit adaptively, I must say, considering they were trying to keep in mind where the actual push was coming from. But right now, you are a man down. You are, well, without crying, and Draven is standing by with a C4 in hand, already ripped, so the sound key will not be given away. As I say, that Prano able to pick up renewals, and the C4 will be put back in pocket for these last 60 seconds in this 5-on-2 situation. The match depends on it. Chaos, are you going to be able to make this comeback happen? Are you going to be able to make this clutch happen? Or will Secret run away with yet another 3 points?
Well, the C4 swings and a miss as they can't quite catch Secretly onto the staircase. They're going to swing and get aggro, and they pre-fire towards Shate, who's done so much work behind this pillar. They hadn't been able to warm up before. Oh, they're cooking hot right now. That's another one added to their tally over the past few rounds that has really just been pretty dominant in the hands of this Jaeger. Close swing, and another C4 swings into a staircase. They're able to at least drop the Jaeger, but that's 1, and you've still got 4 more left ahead of you. Finally pops the mirror window. Whether that's going to make things easier or not, I guess time will tell as they start to swing down. Pre-fires a little bit too wide, expecting someone in electric. They're at least able to get the secondary, but there's the third. Hyph gets 1. Secret get points, and Chaos, unfortunately, get a vodka review.
GG's, Shate died for this. Well, at least for Chaos, there will not be another draw as they lose out on this match. Secret is putting themselves up onto 9 points in this stage, and they're putting themselves up in the 4th place overall in these standings. Only 2 behind Rogue, only 2 behind G2 in the chase for that European final spot in December as well. Because keep in mind, that is also being given away after the stage.